Yo, what's up guys? I'm back from another YouTube video, and look at this. I'm #1 in the world, or at least I was a couple hours ago, and I want to show you guys some insane replays. So like I said, I was #1 a couple hours ago. I did drop, unfortunately. I lost a game. That's alright though. #2 is awesome. But this is the deck I used. Giant, E-Drag, Prince, Mega Me, Minor, Triple Spell. I've used this in videos before this, so you guys might already have seen it. But I have a few replays here that I want to show you guys how I got #1, and I want to talk through my thought process, decision making, so that way you guys can learn how to like play the deck a little better. Because I want to help you guys learn how to play it, because I think it's a pretty solid deck in the meta, but not too many people know that. So let's hop into our first game, which is actually a mirror matchup, which is pretty cool. This win got me top 20, I believe. So we both knew what each other were playing. I'm going to skip ahead because we actually did not play a single card until around a minute 30 is I think when we started placing cards. So I'll go ahead and speed it to around then. Galley is known to be playing Giant. Obviously it says Galley loves Giant in his name. So I knew he was running Giant. He knew I was running Giant. So we didn't really feel comfortable playing stuff in the beginning. Also, I didn't really have the best cycle, so I decided just to like cycle some cards in the back like Miners, Mega Minions, and wait for the opportunity to play something. So I think we wait until double elixir time to make our next move, or maybe maybe he plays a Giant, I think a few seconds after double elixir starts, so we'll wait until then. So he says the good luck, like obviously implying that he's about to go in for a Giant. This is double elixir. So there's the Giant in the back. So instead of playing my own Giant, I decided to go in with an E-Drag and a Prince, because I thought maybe I should defend and then go in with a Giant. This was probably a little bit of a mistake. I do get a nice fireball on that E-Drag, and then I zap it as well. But here's where I think I messed up a little bit. I did decide to play a Giant, and I don't think that was that great of a Giant, because he had that Prince down. It kind of got melted. Like, look at that. He had his Mega Man Prince down. That was a little bit of a mistake, and that is going to cost me to take a little bit of damage here. So, because he's going to get so much damage in my left lane here, I was like, boy, I got to switch lanes or else I'm going to end up losing this. So, I decided to try to get a counter push going, and then when he stopped this pretty easily, I was like, okay, next opportunity I get, I need to switch lanes. Otherwise, I'm going to lose if I stay same lane. Because look at this lead he has. This is not good at all. And he gets more minor chip, gets another Prince hit here. He gives a well played, knowing that I messed up. So now I was like, ugh, what do I got to do? I got to wait for the perfect opportunity to go other lane, and that's what I do. So when he plays this E-Drag here, he has nothing good in cycle to stop my Giant, because he has no Prince, no E-Drag, and I knew it was time. He has a pretty good Giant pull here. Only problem for him is after using that Giant, he has no elixir to support it. So I can take it out pretty easily with the Minor, Mega Man, and E-Drag. They're all spread out, so even though he fireballed, he couldn't zap everything. So I do end up stopping the Giant without it getting a single hit. Now I know I need to go other lane again. So that's what I do. I set up, go other lane, another Giant Mega Man at the bridge. This time he does have a Prince in cycle. But I send a Minor and a Log in, because I know I'll get some damage. Since he doesn't have anything to play on top of the Minor, it gets some guaranteed damage in. Giant gets another hit. Now look at this. He has to fireball the Minor, and at that point I knew I won the game. That E-Drag can easily be stopped. Right lane, that Prince is only at half health. No way it's going to take my tower. Fireball Log finishes off the game. Obviously, he's pretty mad. He throws out the angry face. Really nice comeback to get that win against the mirror matchup. So, let's go ahead and go into our next game against this, I think, Chinese-Japanese player. I don't know his name because I don't speak the language. But we'll go in to this next game. So, as you can see, he has Goblin Gang, Skeleton Army, arrows, balloons. So, it's a lava balloon deck. I didn't know that at the time, because he goes in with a Goblin Gang at the bridge, first play of the game. I just go in with a defensive Minor. So I wasn't sure, maybe this was like Mortar, maybe it was Log Bait, but then he does something to where I know it's Lava Loon. He goes in with the arrows to cycle. And when he throws his arrows, I know for a fact that's Lava Hound. Because what other deck has Goblin Gang and arrows in the meta? None other than Lava Hound. So I go with the Mega Minion, kind of waiting to see what he plays. I don't know what variant he has. I don't know if he has Tombstone. I don't know. All I know is that it's some kind of Lava Hound deck. So I'm just kind of reading, trying to figure out what he has. When he goes with that balloon, I immediately go with the Giant Bridge instead of defending, because I know he doesn't have a lot of elixir to defend after using that balloon. So it's going to be an obvious tower trade. I do have Log for the Goblin Gang, and I have Fireball ready just in case he plays a Minion Horde, and there's the Minion Horde, and I immediately Fireball as soon as I saw it. Prince connects to the King. We have Mega Minion Giant going there as well. Bring down the tower pretty low, and then I immediately send in a miner. I knew he was low on elixir, because I know that he played that Minion Horde as soon as he had enough elixir for it. So I knew he was pretty low on elixir. So I send the miner in, and that's going to get like another 700 damage, and at this point I know that it's going to be a 3-crown. Either he's going to 3-crown me, or I'm going to 3-crown him. And I have the advantage having his king at about a third of its health, and my king is at all of its health. So it's looking pretty good right now for me. I'm just waiting for a good opportunity to strike. Obviously right now I can't because he has a Skarmian cycle, and also he has a lot of elixir. So after that Lava Hound Skarmy, I was like, whoa. And then I just send my Giant in. I'm like, okay, you got no elixir. How you gonna defend that Giant? He can't. He goes with the Goblin Gang. I just log it. And then his King is in Fireball range, and that's game to give us the win, putting us, I think, in top 10. So a really nice win. I think his mistake was he was way too aggressive. He shouldn't have played that balloon at the bridge unsupported. Obviously, I could just ignore that because a balloon alone doesn't like 3-crown you or anything crazy. And my push he had to address, and even after he addressed it with like lots of elixir, I still managed to damage his king a ton. So that's what really cost him the game, playing that like balloon by itself at the bridge. Let's go into our next game against Mikkel. If you guys didn't know, he's a pro CRL player for Fnatic, so really good player, and he's running RG Lightning. Typically not something I do very well against, because the Lightning gets a lot of value against me, and also the like Lumberjack and Furnace do pretty good against me. The Furnace is very like annoying to keep up with sometimes, so I was really happy to get this win. He starts off with a Barbaro at the bridge. Your typical play. I didn't know what deck this was yet because lots of decks have Barbaro, and also lots of decks have Barbaro and Baby Dragon. Like this could have been P.E.K.K.A. This could have been let's see. This could have been like even Lava Hound. This could have been Golem. Even after that Mega Minion, it could still be like Lava Hound or Golem. But after the Furnace, then we know for a fact that it's RG Lightning, and also he used the Lightning. So now we know what the deck is. I'm still not 100% sure if he has Lumberjack or Guards, but I think in this meta, majority of people are using Lumberjack instead of Guards, so I'd assume that it is Lumberjack, and that's what I did thought in this match. So he goes with the Barbara, and I'd like to note, I'll pause right here, if you saw I went for a Miner on his Furnace, that's something you should do a lot in this matchup, because you can't Fireball a Furnace. If you Fireball the Furnace, it'll still get like 2 waves, or maybe even 3 waves of Fire Spirits on your tower, and it's like really annoying, and it's just not good value to Fireball a Furnace. Instead, if you Miner it, it's a 3-for-4 trade, like the Furnace is 4, Miner's only 3, and if you Miner it, and if they ignore it, it actually takes out the whole Furnace. There he played a Barbaro on it, so he's investing 2 Elixir, and I still took out the Furnace, so Minering a Furnace gets like really, really good value. And if they catch it, it's not the end of the world, because if they play like a Lumberjack on it, they're spending like a lot of elixir after just spending a Furnace. So it's never risky to Miner a Furnace, and it's something I do a lot in this matchup. So I'm just tanking, like playing Giants in the back for his Baby Dragon. Because typically against RG Lightning, it's actually a pretty slow game until double elixir. Usually not much happens, but right here, this is where I get my first push. He makes a little bit of a mistake. So he let that E-Drag go, completely wiping out that Mega Minion and basically killing the Lumberjack. And I know that he doesn't have anything to catch the Miner, so I send a Miner in, zap, and then he goes with a Baby Dragon. I'll pause here again. I think that was a little bit of a mistake. I don't know if you guys saw, but he actually had enough elixir for lightning. I had an E-Drag down, I had a Prince down, I had a Miner down. I think his best bet was probably to lightning, and he wouldn't have taken all this damage, because look at that, that Prince is going to get even more hits in. That put him in a really bad situation. I think instead of playing defense with the Baby Dragon Mega Minion, spending 7 elixir, losing almost half his tower, I think he should have just lightninged. It would have made things a lot easier for him, so I think that was a little bit of a misplay. But look at this here. This was very, very good for him. Nice push. Bad for me. I'm going to lose majority of my tower. I'm actually going to go down in triple digits. Look at that RG rage. That's why, guys, the RG can ruin your day, you know? One RG can cost you the game. That's why you have to be very careful in this matchup to, like, you know, really defend those RGs, like with the Princes. Sometimes I log the RGs. I do whatever I can, but in this case, I just have to let the RG take my tower. Because look at all the swarm. I have the Prince Giant Mega Minion on his King. I have another Giant on his Arena Tower Mega Minion. And with him having to spend that RG, 6 elixir just to take my tower that's already almost dead, that put him in a really bad spot, and he ended up losing the game. So that was insane. That Miner Prince E-Drag pushes actually what ended up winning the game for me, which I didn't expect at all. I think, I think maybe he panicked and didn't lightning. I think he should have lightninged instead of playing like that Mega Minion Baby Dragon, costing him so much damage. So that win put me in the top 5. Now, we have a game against Gara, who's actually one of the best mortar players in the world. He's known to being a Russian mortar player. So going into this game, I knew it was mortar. I didn't know what variant of mortar it was, but I did know that it was mortar. So, I didn't have the best starting hand, but I did have Miner. But because it's a mortar deck, this match is better double, so I waited for him to make the first play. And he goes with a Miner on my tower. I do Miner. I wasn't quick enough to drop it, unfortunately, so it does connect. That's alright, though. Now I think he goes in with, yeah, Rascals in the back, and then pretty soon he's going to play a Mortar at the bridge. And luckily I'm able to cycle to a Giant before he plays a Mortar at the bridge, or else it would be kind of bad. So what does he do? I think I play a Mega Minion, yeah, and then he goes in with a Mortar at the bridge. And now, I didn't play my E-Drag. The reason why I didn't play my E-Drag right here, normally I would, but in this case I didn't. Because if he had a Minion Horde, it would have actually, like, killed everything. And even though I had Zap, the Minion Horde would get, like, so much value. And also, if I Zap, then I wouldn't have anything for the Bats, because I don't have my Mega Minion cycle. That's why, guys, I decided not to do that, because I really wanted to have, like, my Zap and cycle. And at this point, I still didn't know if he had Minion Horde or not. But I get a good Prince push going. I have Log for his Rascals. And the reason why I don't know that he has Minion Horde or not is because he has Fireball. And he hasn't used the Fireball yet. And because he hasn't, there's a card that he hasn't used that I don't know. And I don't know whether that's Minion Horde or Fireball. So you always want to play it safe and use your Fireballs wisely and save your, like, Zaps and stuff until you know for a fact if they have, like, Minion Horde or not. So right here, I'm down a little bit, but double elixir is my time. I have matchup by a good amount in double elixir. In single, it can be kind of tricky because they can outcycle you, but in double, it's pretty much smooth sailing as long as you haven't lost too much of your tower in single. So this is where I start, like, my main Giant pushes. I was thinking of fireballing there, but I didn't need to because he split the Rascals and, like, the boy and the girl are going to the left lane, and they're not really anything I need to worry about. So right here, I don't do much. I don't need to continue the push. I instead just start another Giant in the back. This is where I just like to just, you know, get some, like, damage in, you know, make pushes, try to get as much damage as I can in double. Like, you don't want to overcommit, because if you overcommit, they can, like, go opposite lane. You always want to use your spells smart, like, always zap the Bats. So in this matchup, you want to always zap the Bats, always fire the ball to the Rascals, and then ideally always log the Goblin Gang. Now, they do have Spear Goblins. This guy does have Spear Goblins, but typically it's more value to, like, log the Goblin Gang and save Fireball for the Rascals and zap the Bats. You could zap the Spear Goblins, like, if you really need to, but overall, it's better to just try to ignore them if all possible, because hopefully they'll die to like the E-drag chain, or maybe you could miner the spear goblins. That's what I sometimes do. Right there, he had a really good like connection. I didn't expect those bats to do so much damage. But I get a nice fireball here on top of his rascals. And then in this situation, I think, yeah, I do zap the spear goblins because I didn't want tower damage. And this game actually got pretty close here at the end. You guys will see. And look at that. He activated his king. That was kind of surprising. It was kind of funny. I didn't expect that to happen. Good for him. Not good for me, of course, because now he has an extra way of, like, defending my giants and miners and stuff. But right here, I knew since he has such a quick cycle, if he got one more miner on my tower, and like spelled it, he would have won. So I went all in, was hoping that I would get his tower, and I ended up getting the win, guys. It was pretty close there at the end. You see 2 bats on my tower and a spear goblin, and if I didn't end up getting his tower there, he probably would have won the game, because he would have minered my tower, and if I didn't catch it and he got a couple hits, a fireball would have won it for him. So that was a really, really close game. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and these replays. I just want to say, this video will not be edited since my editor is currently away. So if I misspoke a word or messed up a little bit, it's alright. I'll just, you know, let it run. But this is the deck again. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. And also, comment below what you guys want to see next. It helps me prepare for future videos. And thanks again until next time, guys.